Sometimes there can be a single moment that can completely change the way you think about creativity. And for me, that was the first time I saw artificial intelligence in action. Up until then, everything I created, every drawing, every animation, every idea came from years of learning how to do things the hard way. Pencil, paper, and persistence. For those who struggle with the technical skills required to create, AI opens the door to imagination like never before. And for those of us lucky enough to be creative, AI can inspire us and push us further than we've ever been pushed, speeding up production time and making life just a little bit easier. Today, you can create an image of almost anything you can think of instantly. I went to ChatGPT and I asked it to create a cartoon of a zebra wearing a polo shirt, driving a convertible down by the beach, and in about 5 seconds, it gave me this response. Then I went a step further and asked AI to make specific changes to my new image. So if I wanted my zebra wearing a black polo and sunglasses, change the color of the car to orange with a colorful surfboard in the back seat and a cool new number plate, no problem. I just have to wait a few more seconds. What really blows my mind is that AI can even bring that image to life using sites like Envato. Even more impressive, sites like Envato now offer Nano, which allows us to view the same scene from all different angles while maintaining consistency. Then we can take all those clips and edit them together in post-production in software like CapCut to produce longer videos like this. Plus, we don't have to stick to just one style. AI gives us the chance to reimagine our art in any style we can think up. But even though that might all look impressive, in order to tell a complete story, we have to have more control. See, if I want my zebra to drive down the street, park his car, get out, grab his surfboard, say hello to a friend on the street, and then walk down to the beach for a surf, can I do all that with AI? Now, in my experience, the answer is yes, but there are 2 drawbacks. First of all, right now, consistency on most sites is close, but it's still not 100%. And second of all, if you're going to use paid AI sites, you better have a huge plan to be able to generate all your videos, because there is a lot of trial and error. See, the thing with AI is, for every good image it gives you, it will give you several which are just not accurate. But the more you use it, the more you learn how to get the results you want. So the 2 main questions that we need to ask right now are, how do I make AI do what I want to do now? And what the heck am I going to be able to do with AI 5 years from now? In my opinion, right now, there is no one single AI site that is a one-stop solution for producing the finished product that you want to make. For instance, I might use ChatGPT for the concept, then Nano to make some changes, then Photoshop to tweak it, Envato's image to video to bring it to life, and finally CapCut to edit it. That means I need to know how to use all these different software products. It also means that in many cases, I might need to have a paid subscription to use them. But on the flip side to that, it means that as a solo creative person, I can produce a larger project on my own, the type of thing that only a few years ago would have taken a huge budget and a large team of skilled people to produce. So let's look at the AI sites that I use and how I use them. The first thing I do when I get to my office each day is to open ChatGPT and have a conversation. I tell it about my day and what I want to achieve, and I ask it to inspire me, and it never lets me down. The more you communicate with ChatGPT, the more it learns about you and gives you responses in line with your own thinking. More than just producing images, I use ChatGPT for things like storytelling, script writing, and inspiration. One thing you can do with an image generated by AI is to produce 3D models using sites like Meshy. Here, you can see I ran my zebra through Meshy, and this was the result. I don't have a lot of experience with sites like Meshy, and I know that they've been criticized because they have untidy mesh and they have a high polygon count. But you have to think that in time, these are issues that are going to be resolved. Since my expertise is in the 2D field of animation, what I'd like to do is to show you some of the results that I've achieved using Cartoon Animator alongside of artificial intelligence using my character Clang from the Alien Squad series. The first thing I tried was setting up a scene in Cartoon Animator, posing some characters and adding a background. I took this image into Envato and asked it to animate it using its image to video feature and a simple prompt of bring this scene to life. It did quite a good job, and I think if I had a bunch of clips like this, I could easily string them together to make a story. Then I ran a test to see if AI could add a voice, this time using Grok 3.
Hold it right there! Don't move!
I was really impressed with what Grok 3 could do. In fact, I was so impressed that I took a whole bunch of my 2D characters of all different shapes and sizes, and I put them through Grok 3 with a whole bunch of different text prompts to see what I could do. And here's the results.
Hi. Have you seen all these new AI videos going around? They scare me.
Wow, this place is so lovely. You wouldn't even know it's AI.
Now you can do more with your 2D characters than ever before. Hi there! Have you tried using AI in your animations? Amazing what it can do for you.
I wish AI could help pick up that pile of clothes over there.
If this AI thingy is the future, I sure hope it remembers to call its grandparents.
If AI thinks it's gonna take my job, then it better go talk to Karen at reception first. Well, this is all just silly nonsense.
I don't know what you want me to do. Pardon me.
Well, this is just getting ridiculous. I heard about this new AI stuff. Well, I don't like it.
Thank heavens that's over.
But where AI really excels at the moment is with 3D characters. So I took my 2D character of Clang, posed him in Cartoon Animator and exported the static images, and then I put them through ChatGPT and asked it to reimagine him as a 3D character. And this blew my mind, because for me to even try to model this character in 3D would take months. So then I posed Clang in all different ways in Cartoon Animator and turned each of these into standalone 3D images. And the great thing here is a 2D actor like Clang is fully rigged inside Cartoon Animator, so you can pose him exactly the way you want and even change his facial expressions. A little bit of tweaking with Photoshop might be required to make some minor adjustments, but overall, the character consistency here is very good in my opinion. The key to getting good results with your AI prompts is to be specific. You need to be as clear as possible when you're writing. So the question is, what can I do with all these different character poses that I've got? I can use them in print media for comic strips and graphic novels, or I can tape these images and create animated clips. And again, that's where Envato comes in. The more I work with Envato, the more impressed I am. It seems to constantly be adding new features. Its image generator is as good as any site I've used, and then it has an image editor which includes Nano Banana for image editing. Nano Banana is amazing for so many reasons. It will only change the parts of the picture that you ask it to change, unlike a lot of AI sites where no matter what you ask for, it's just going to randomly change everything in the picture. With Nano Banana, you can change the lighting of the scene and even the color. And most impressively, You can even change the camera angle. Then Envato has their image to video editor, which as a storyteller and animator has completely changed my life. Because now I can set up a scene of my character in something like Cartoon Animator, iClone, or Photoshop, set it up as the first shot of my animation, then set up a second shot as the end shot of my animation, put them both into Envato's image to video editor, and it will create a 5 to 6 second shot based on the description of the action I want to have between those two images. I can then take that final video, create more and more clips, and edit them in post-production. Here is a scene setup that I created of my character Klein. I posed him as a 2D actor in Cartoon Animator and then asked ChatGPT to reimagine him as a 3D model and had it create a background for him. Then, using Envato's image to video generator, I produced the following clips. I made that video in under an hour. That's why people are so in love with AI, because even if you can't draw a stick figure, you can still produce videos like that, and you can do it fast. So we can bring a static image to life, but what else can we do with it? How else can we use the tools of Cartoon Animator alongside of the tools of artificial intelligence to push our creativity further? One of the uses that I've found for AI is being able to create animated sequences which would be otherwise impossible to create inside Cartoon Animator. The sort of animated sequences that require more traditional frame-by-frame animation rather than just taking an object and rotating it or moving it around the screen. A great example of this is this disco ball. I wanted to animate it spinning, and to create that effect, usually I would need to draw the animation frame by frame. But I was able to put this static image of the disco ball into Envato's image to video editor and tell it to animate the ball rotating for me. By creating the animation on a solid green backdrop, I could mask that out in post-production as an alpha channel. You can even create sprite sequences and import them into Cartoon Animator so you can save them as your own props. I had ChatGPT create this static image of a fire for me. Then I ran it through Envato's image to video generator to animate it. I copied out each of the individual frames of the animation I needed using Photoshop and saved each one with a transparent background. I simply imported all the frames into Cartoon Animator as a single prop with multiple sprites and used Collect Clip to collect them and animate them. Now I have a handy fire prop that I can use in any project. And it's not just individual animated props for Cartoon Animator that you can create. If you think on a larger scale, you can create entire animated backdrops for your projects. Like this animated underwater scene I created from a single image, which I could use as a backdrop for my jellyfish. Another practical use for AI, if you're an animator, is creating all the different reference angles for your characters. AI can even generate all the sprites you need for 2D characters like mouth shapes and eyes. So here's what I've learned. AI is an incredible assistant, but it still needs a creative boss. It can help us move faster, explore ideas, and even sometimes just completely surprise us. But it still needs our vision to make that happen. I use AI not because it replaces what I do, but because it enhances what I do. And to think, AI is only just beginning. So who knows where we're going to be with this in 5 years from now. But for now, it's an exciting time to be a creator.